We are here at Kabukicho, Tokyo, and I'll be taking a look at some of the more iconic and well-recognized locations from the Yakuza games. And let's go and take a look. Okay, so the next spot right behind me is another restaurant that's also present in the game, and it's also present here in Kabukicho. I don't really know much about this restaurant other than the fact that they sell seafood, but they pretty much look exactly the same in terms of the way that the restaurant is designed outside. So it looks the same, it looks exactly the same, but I don't really know much about it, and you can't go inside it because it's closed apparently, and it's also closed in the game as well. So on to the next location. So this is the next spot, and this is the 24-hour parking lot. You don't actually use this in the Yakuza games. This is basically like another spot that's most recognizable. There are no cars behind me, but in the games there are a few cars that's parked in the game itself. So this is another one of those locations that's exactly like the ones in the game. So yeah, this is the 24-hour parking lot. On to the next location. So earlier I was right in front of the 24-hour parking lot, but in front of the parking lot in the Yakuza games, there's supposed to be a public park here called public park number 3 or number 2. But as you can see here, this is like a really tall building, and there are restaurants at the back behind me. But in the Yakuza games, this is basically just a park. But in Kabukicho in real life, there's more than, it's not a park, it's like a building here, and there's restaurants behind me. So that's the difference between the game, but it kind of looks the same, but it's different at the same time. So on to the next location. So as I was walking towards Kabukicho, I encountered this pawn shop right behind me. And in Kamurocho, in the Yakuza games, there does exist one pawn shop where you can sell various items and you can buy various items, but I couldn't find any pawn shops that was in the same location as it was in the Yakuza games. So I found this pawn shop right behind me, and it looks kind of the same, but the name of the shop is called Kante Iyo, but in the Yakuza game it's called Ebisu Pawn Shop. So that's the main difference. It looks the same, but the name of the pawn shop is different than the Yakuza game. So yeah, pretty interesting. So on to the next location. Okay, so right in front of me, right behind me is another restaurant, but in the Yakuza games, this restaurant right here is supposed to be a Korean restaurant. But it looks like this is just a traditional Japanese restaurant where they sell seafood, but in the Yakuza games, this is supposed to be a Korean restaurant. So this is another more recognizable location in Kabukicho and in the Yakuza games. So on to the next location, which is the parking lot right here on my left. This is another location that is recognizable in the Yakuza games. This is the Shishifuku parking lot,
located north of Champion District, and you'll notice that there are various banners and advertisements that promote host and hostess bars. Host and hostess clubs cater to lonely husbands and wives who need a little attention from well-dressed, flirtatious professional conversationalists. The banners and ads look pretty much identical to the game, and this is another location that fans will recognize. On to the next location, which is the entrance of the parking lot.
Okay, so earlier we were at the side where we were in front of the signs and the big banners, and right here we're at the entrance of the parking lot. So this is the parking lot, and it looks a lot smaller compared to the game. Maybe it's because there's a lot of cars parked inside, but yeah, it looks pretty much the same like the game. So yeah, on to the next location. Okay, so right where I am now, we're in this really narrow kind of alley, and in the Yakuza games, this is supposed to be called Champion District. This is where there's supposed to be a lot of bars inside, but really inside here there's nothing but old buildings inside. So I don't think we can really go inside because it might be a little bit dangerous. But yeah, this is supposed to be called Champion District in the games, but in real life, all I can read is 1951. So that's pretty much all I know about this spot in Kabukicho.
Now the next location here is one of the many strip clubs that you will find in Kabukicho, and this is yet another location that is present in the Yakuza games. Although you cannot enter the building in the games, the building has the exact same design. On to the next location. This is Sanrio Avenue, and you will notice the oddly designed walls with multiple windows. This is located east of Kabukicho, and you'll notice that it looks pretty much identical to the Yakuza games. On to the next location. The location here is the Izakaya Hanako, located east of Kabukicho. This is a popular Japanese restaurant that collaborated with the Yakuza team at Sega to promote the upcoming Yakuza 5. To celebrate the release of the game, Izakaya Hanako pubs offered a selection of special dishes that would appear in the game. On to the next location, which is Shogi.
Okay, so right behind me, it's like a very old, looks like a restaurant, but in the Yakuza games, this is supposed to be a spot where you play shogi. Now, shogi is a type of Japanese chess, and in the games, this spot is supposed to be shogi, but in real life Kabukicho, it's like a restaurant, but it's closed down, so this is another location that is also recognizable when you visit Kabukicho. So on to the next location.
Now the next location here is the entrance to Pink Street. In real-life Kabukicho, the entrance is called Kabukicho Sakura Street, and the signs look pretty much different compared to the games. On to the next location, which is Don Quixote.
Okay, so where I am right now, I'm right in front of the Don Quixote, and as you can see, this is the upcoming Yakuza 5, Ryuga Gotoku 5, and they're basically promoting the game. And as you walk towards here, this is the entrance, side entrance of Don Quixote. Entrance of Don Quixote. And look up there, there's also a banner where they're basically promoting the upcoming Yakuza 5.
Don Quixote is a 24-hour discount chain store that carries a wide range of products from groceries to electronics to clothing and even blow-up dolls. This store has been in the Yakuza series since the original. The Don Quixote in Kabukicho has a total of 8 floors corresponding to each department. This store is well known in Japan and is often referred to by its shortened name Donki. All affordable.
So I'm standing next to this telephone booth, and the telephone booths are basically the most commonly used feature in the Yakuza games because telephone booths are not used to make calls in the games, but they are used to save your progress as you play through the game. So not only do you save your progress, but you can also move your items from your inventory. So this looks pretty much like the game, but of course there is no S symbol, which means save, but of course this is real life Kabukicho, but yeah, this is one of the telephone booths that you'll find in the city of Kabukicho, and in Kamurocho you would find a lot of telephone booths so you can save your progress. So this is one of the telephone booths I can find next to the Don Quixote. So on to the next location.
So this is the Kamurocho Castle, and this is another location that is present in the Yakuza games. In Yakuza 3, this is where the player would initiate the Hitman missions, but in real-life Kabukicho, this is a classy 24-hour love hotel with a small shrine built next to it. Weird. The next location here is Club Sega. This footage was recorded in Akihabara. Akihabara is better known as the mecca of all electronics, gaming, anime, and manga. On to the next location, which is Kabukicho once again.
Okay, so that pretty much wraps up today's Kabukicho tour, and we'll see you guys later tonight where this Kabukicho sign will change and will start to light up. So we'll see you guys later tonight.
And this is Kabukicho at night. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the Yakuza Locations Tour. Sayonara!
Thank you.